Two cousins came together to create a weekly podcast celebrating the excellence, intelligence, beauty, and strength of melanated women. What we created is the When We Think of Us podcast.
We catch up, spotlight melanated businesses, and discuss our experiences as melanated women, addressing topics ranging from relationships to finances, and aspiring to teach, learn, heal, and love ourselves and our communities entirely. This is When We Think of Us. Peace, prosperity, and abundance, y'all. This is Jenni Marie.
Hi, I'm Shana K.
And welcome to When We Think of Us, y'all.
Yes. Man, welcome back.
I know. Welcome back. We had a whole bunch of travel
Yeah.
where man, I don't know if it was just still Aries energy where just things were just it felt like things just kept going and going and going, like just running, just running
Non-stop.
ragged,
Non-stop.
nonstop. It was just something going on, and it was yeah, just exciting time. So I feel like it's chilled. It's chill, a little more chill.
Yeah.
How
Oh,
about
yeah.
you? How was vacation?
It was needed. It
Mm.
was like not even just to not have to work or anything. It was so insightful. Um, I gained so much wisdom while I
Wow.
was out. Um, Man, just so many different things, and I can't even wait to get started. But I do want to ask you how are you? How was your vacation?
V- You know, vacation was cool. It was wasn't really vacation.
Mm.
Um, it's so funny. I was the one who cleared my throat.
On your vacation? No.
Oh, it's funny. I did not really take vacation. I wish that I did make it vacation. So
Yeah.
all of it was work. I worked the entire time and just went back to go see grandma
Hmm.
and papa, but mostly grandma. Just wanted to be in her presence.
Yeah.
And I ended up being there for a week, going out of town for work and then coming back. And it was good to be around family. It just feels good to be around
Yeah.
y'all, like to feel
Yeah.
that energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wish that I took more time to do that. But I'm still grateful. I'm grateful
There
that
you
I was
go.
able to have the time and take the time that I did. So,
Yeah. I mean, I think I may have said it on the show before, but going around family is like a love plug for me, right? I get to tap into people who genuinely love me, whether they like me or not. And it's such an amazing thing. It's just
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
So I went to a land auction. I think we talked about it. No, we didn't.
No.
So um my either my aunt or my great aunt, that's really not important for the sake of the story, but one of them sent me a picture like, hey, there's some land right up the road where I grew up. It was a dead end street. And they had just sat the stake down where the land was going up for auction. And I was like, man, it would be an absolute dream for me to be able to buy that block, right?
Mm.
Like just to own the entire thing. And so one of my family members was like, well, I'll go and I'll check it out for you and I'll send you information. So when I got the information, it was like 0.98 acres of land, give or take, because it hadn't
Okay.
been surveyed. $3,798, which was just the taxes that hadn't been paid on it. I
Say
was like,
what?
yeah, $3,798. And that was just back taxes, right? Like the state doesn't want it. So I'm like, man, cool. And I remember my aunt was like, well, how much do you have and how much are you willing to spend on it?
Mhm.
I told her how much I had, how much I was willing to spend on it, which was the same number. Um, she was like, okay. She was like, well, I've never been to one. We'll go together. And if you get outbidded, how much would you want me to back you? And I didn't. I didn't want any backings. Like,
Mhm.
not into that. Right? All
Yeah.
money isn't good money. So we went, and when I got there, I saw another relative there that I hadn't seen in years. And oh man, she was so beautiful. She is so beautiful, and she's a realtor. And we spent a few minutes getting caught up. And so um, I surveyed the scene. I was like, it's only like 15 people out here. It's about six listings. So these people are here
Mhm.
for something.
Mhm.
Um, so I told my cousin, I was like, are you here for this land? She was like, yeah. She was like, they're not getting my grandma's land. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So it was a gentleman, and his sole purpose was to buy every piece of that land. I
Mhm.
mean, he was not backing down. He wasn't backing down at all. So the first property, I think it was like 2 to 3 acres, but it had a house on it,
Mhm.
and it started at 9.7. That land sold for $20,500.
Mhm.
So then our land was up next. And I was like, man, like what just happened with what I just like no one even took it to the 100. It was like, this is where it start. This 500. This 500.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'm not even gonna throw my hand up. Like I'm out
What?
already. Yeah. So he was like, hey, this particular land, 0.98, give or take, starting at 37. So he started, and the dude went first,
Mhm.
and my cousin went, and the dude went again, and like they were paying attention, but I couldn't tell her like, hey, if he outbid you beyond what you have, use what I have. Like, you can always pay me back if you want. Again, all money isn't good money. I don't know if she would have been willing to do that, but once he saw that she wasn't going to back down, he just backed off 18.5.
Wow. But she
Wow. I
got
was
it
like,
though.
she did. She did. And then she did one, like a huge boss move, right? She was like, and now I'm going to go upset a bid. I was like, what do you mean? She said, well, I think that one of her properties or whatever, someone had bid on it and won.
Mhm.
And so you have 10 days. Someone can go in behind you and make a higher offer.
Oh, wow.
So
Within
she
10
was,
days?
yeah, yep. So she was going to upset a bid. And I was sitting there like, wow.
Mm.
All this time, I thought that, for whatever the reason, my family that had been left back in North Carolina, most of us were, like doing the best we could. And she showed up like a boss. Like, not only did you just buy this, but now you're going to upset a bid?
Yeah.
I was like, man, next time I come home, I'm gonna rub elbows with you. Like,
Yeah,
you're one
right.
of the family members that I need to hang out with. Um,
Mm.
so that was so interesting. So then I got this brilliant idea. I was like, hey, you know what? I didn't get the land. That's cool, but I still have what I had, right? So I went back to Pinhook, as you know, the small area I grew up in, and I was like, okay, so this is ours, but everything, like the shrubbery, everything is grown up. So I was like, all right, let me go to John Deere. I'm gonna buy me a
Mhm.
tractor.
Mhm.
No, ma'am. I
What
went to
why?
I went to John Deere. Now, what I had, which I thought was Big Willie, was probably taxes on some of those tractors. I'm like, the dude was like, "Hey, I can rent you one." It's like I can rent you one for what you have because my vision was to, and maybe not even a tractor, but just um, a step up from a lawnmower, right? So, to where somebody can just get on, ride, and clear that piece of land off.
Mm,
Because I'm like, it's hard to have vision. Like, talk about not being able to see the forest from the tree. You all have land right there that has grown up, and you can't really see like what you can possibly do with it. So, what if we cleared it off? Let's clear it off. If we need to get dirt, we can lay it down, we can smooth it out, then take a step back and see what you have.
mm-hmm.
Um, didn't win the land, couldn't buy the tractor, but I found a contractor. So my aunt has actually put in to get a quote. I was like, if we can just get them to run it off for right now, just to clean it off, we don't even know, we still have to get it surveyed, but you can see a vision start to come. Like, you could put something there. It's ours. We could basically do whatever we want. So that was um that was amazing. And then I looked at my great grandmother's old house and I was like, we didn't keep it up.
Mm,
There's no need in letting it stand. Like, not only do I need someone to clean off the land, but let's tear this house down, move it out the way,
mm,
and see what we really have. So it's going to take time. It's going to definitely take money. But at least I have a vision that I was able to share with people. Like, we can't see it. So because we
mm,
can't see what we have, it's hard to be like, okay, well, let's do this, that, and the third. So that was amazing. I was absolutely heartbroken. I saw some people that um I don't know if they're like family members by blood, or you know how, you know, like your mom is my aunt, right? Like, not really, but I will always refer to her as my aunt type thing. And whenever you have a best friend, then that best friend is the aunt of your child. So I don't know if we're blood related or not, but I saw um a few people who were just walking around having angry conversations with someone that I couldn't see, and it was so heartbroken.
mm,
Um, lack of resources, lack of resources, and I'm sitting like it. One particular situation bothered me so bad. I called your dad, and I was like,
mm,
"Hey, man, I just saw somebody, and I don't even know what to do with what I just saw. Like, I didn't want to give them any money,
mm,
in case it was an addiction of any type. Um, I did want to offer to feed the individual, but I'm like, some people like that, they can't eat. Like, you just can't hand them a hot meal. They
mm,
won't eat it. So that was pretty, I don't even know how to describe it. But one thing that I did do when I saw it, and after I talked to your dad, I took a minute to have a conversation with myself. And I was like, pretty much, who are you to come around here and have whatever thoughts you're having about somebody? Because some of the thoughts weren't sad, some of them were downright rude and negative. And I'm like, who are you to judge someone like that?
mm,
Someone gave you a hand up. That's the only reason you got out. But you could
mm,
have very well been looking at yourself. So, I had to sit back and be like, yeah, who am I? If I'm not going to be a part of the solution, then there's only one other place to fall. I'm part of the problem.
mm,
Um, so I sat in a vacant strip mall and ideas just started flowing. I was like, man, if I had the money or a grant writer, because some things don't always require money from me, what could I really do with this strip mall? And man, the ideas started flowing. And I was like, I'm not even going to tell nobody. It's
mm,
going to be one of those things to where I just go back and slowly but surely start making my dream work. For now, 3 months might come and I'll be like, nah, I ain't dealing with it. But oh man, it was so amazing because so many people are trying to get businesses off the ground out there. I did realize that. And I'm like, or I shouldn't say trying to get them off the ground. People have businesses and they don't really have the clientele, right? And I couldn't help but thinking to myself, it's because you don't really have a product that people need. You have a business, something that you want to do, which is perfectly fine, but it's not solving a problem. And this is a problematic area. Like I won't go into details because it's part of my vision of something that I want to do, but man, I'm like the first thing that came to mind, and this will be a slight share. Why not make a resource center? Why not make a center to where you just have a few computers. Just have a few computers. Have someone that's willing to help these people with applications and things that they can't do on their own.
Mm.
If you choose to charge them anything, it doesn't have to be much, but people are always going to be coming in and out. It's going to solve, I think, because I'm not there, but I think it's going to solve some problems. From where I was in Wallace, North Carolina to Kenansville, North Carolina, which is social service office, um, things like that. It's like a 20 to 25-minute drive. Mostly everyone I saw, well, that's not true. A lot of people I saw were walking. Why not bring the resources to them? I think, but again, I'm not there. Um, but it was still worth thinking about. Another thing I noticed, and one word came to mind, and the word was design, right? So first I went to Charlotte, spent time with my sister, and I was like, hey, I don't get this way this much. Take me to a particular restaurant. It's this fast food chain. It was like, I don't have that out here. There's only one, and it's 45 minutes going the opposite direction of where you need to go. I was like, 45 minutes? That's crazy.
What
So,
fast food restaurant is it?
I kind of don't want to say because
Oh,
they're in litigations right now.
oh.
they're they're in litigation. I'm trying to get me that $50,000 check, so I ain't even gonna say that. I'm not even gonna say their name.
What?
Um, yeah, I signed up for part of that class action. I'm not saying their name. I'll tell you later. I'm trying to get that $50,000. So I went to Raleigh to spend time with my best friend. And shout out to her, man. I didn't even have to rent a car because of her. She was like,
Mm.
"You're not wasting no money when we got 3 cars out there." So, um, man, pick your friends wisely. That was a blessing. So I was like, "Man, I'm trying to go to the unsaid restaurant, right?" She was like, "Oh, okay. 10 minutes away. No big deal." Get down to the country, and this restaurant is like in every every neighboring city, the restaurant was there. I'm like, hold up. So it wasn't in Charlotte. There was only one, 45 minutes in the opposite direction. We had to like take a little trip in Raleigh, but now it's so frequent right here. Then as I began to notice, like there were a lot of fast food restaurants all right there in that small area that doesn't have resources. That stood out to me because I've been back for a week and some change, and my stomach still isn't well from the horrible eating that I had done.
Mm.
And I'm not saying it in terms of regret. I knew exactly what I was doing, but again, I think it's by design that they view the area I grew up in as like a highly impoverished area, right? Like
Mm.
it's downright poverty. So why not just kill them off with food? I noticed that pork was incredibly cheap.
Ooh.
Um, Pork was almost cheap. Actually, it was cheaper than chicken, and I'm like, oh man, like this is bad. This is really bad. So I'm really paying attention to these things. Like it's set up this way. In Charlotte, you have so many opportunities, job wise, and all of that thing. Those those people in Charlotte not letting this restaurant come in there to take those
Mm-hmm.
people out. But then in Duplin County, these restaurants are everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
There's no jobs there. In fact, there's only about two jobs. One of the jobs you're working for this restaurant that can't go to Charlotte. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And I'm like, and not even in the restaurant setting, like in the production.
Mm.
So I'm sitting here and I'm
You
taking,
talking about like in the chicken house or
yes,
the where? Wow.
yes. So I'm like, this is all by design. And then of course, my favorite, the family members started talking about my weight, and I love it, right? And I got a slick mouth. I was like, yeah, when you got the money I got, you do what you want to do. I like to eat. And after about the third time, then I was like, wait, everybody talking about my weight.
Wait, the third
Yeah.
time
Oh, yeah.
by the same
No,
person?
no, 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 by different people.
I was
So I'm
like,
like, everybody's talking about my weight, but there's a lot of pill popping going on around this around this joker. So you could judge me by my exterior, but I'm very healthy. Like I'm not popping all this. And
mm,
here y'all are, popping different pills for different reasons. And I'm not saying that to shame anyone, but I am saying this, I do take a high blood pressure pill. I'm not ashamed of that by any means. I'll be off of it next checkup. Like my blood pressure is elevated now. Well, not elevated, but it has stabilized. So I'm sitting here, I'm like, it is so easy to judge someone on the exterior and you're dying inside. Going back to me judging those people that I had just seen, and I was like, oh man. And as I said again, people with the one, I shouldn't say one, but the whole missing teeth thing, I can't shake that. I don't think I'll ever be able to shake like what is going on
mm-hmm,
to where so many people, like you go up into Piggly Wiggly, you go into Walmart, and they're just as happy as they want to be, and they're not gonna stop smiling for nothing. And I'm like, shit, right on. Like you better you better smile if you want to, but it's oh man, it was amazing. So another thing too, Jenny Marie, is I was uh I was blessed to be able to pick my grandma up. Like the first time I saw her, I was picking her up from a doctor's visit.
mm-hmm,
I'll say it that way. And I noticed one thing. Actually, I have to tell it the right way. So I was picking my grandma up from dialysis, right? I don't even know. I was stunned. And I was stunned because as people were coming out, they came out with 2 liter of sodas, um, like just their snack bag. I'm looking at it, I'm like, damn. Like,
out of dialysis?
and I'm sitting here and I'm trying to process it, and I'm like, I go to my phone and I research what dialysis did. I was like, maybe I'm not understanding what dialysis is because I thought, like they have to purify your blood because your
Mm.
body can't do it. Man, they had snacks galore, and I'm like, how is this acceptable? So I asked my grandma, I was like, "Hey, old lady, y'all get to take food in there?" She was like, "You can take anything in there you want." She was like, "There's a nutritionist in there." I was like, "Well, what does she do?" Like,
Fire her immediately. She's
I was
done.
like, I was like, "What does she do?" She was like, "Well, just sit there on the ass, I guess. I don't know." I'm like, but
What?
yeah, I'm laughing when I say that, but it was heartbreaking.
Mm,
You're going to have a machine do something your body can't do on its own, and you're still putting trash in. And this goes for me too. Like, I don't make the best eating choices, but I'm like, damn, like if that's not gonna stop you, I don't know what to tell you.
you know, there would be things for those. So my father and Shana Kay are from the same area,
Hmm.
right? And so my father would go back home and go into Wallace and come back with just jars of
Yeah.
pickled something or
Oh,
just pork.
peanuts.
And I'll be like, you know, you can't eat that.
Yeah.
That is not meant for consumption. It's just not. And I think that is really the real hereditary issue.
Hmm.
It's just the conditioning to eat those things. Like
Yeah.
that's what
That's
you
what you
grew
pass
up
down.
on.
Hmm.
You don't know, you have if you haven't expanded that education, food about food and nutrition, that's what you end up eating and feeding your children and so on and so forth. That's the hereditary portion of it. It's
Right.
not that you're really predisposed, if you will. It's just that the diet is the same.
Hmm.
And it's not a lot of this stuff is just
But I
it's
like
not
how
meant for
you I
consumption.
like how you said he would go back to Wallace, and then have to bring it back. I really think that that's part of the design. He couldn't find, I mean, if he searched hard enough, he probably could. He couldn't find those foods out there. I can't find those foods out here.
Mhm.
He had to go back into an area that is highly populated with poverty to
Mhm.
get that kind of food.
So here's where I think that we got to flip that,
Hmm.
right? So rather than us bringing things out of there, what do we take in? And this is
Right.
where we to tie that back in with the land, Shauna.
Hmm.
This is how we start planting those seeds.
Yep.
Like this is what we do. So, we not okay. I peep where you got us. I peep that. I peep where you have placed us in terms of priority as
Right.
far as our health is concerned. So we got to take that power back and
Hmm.
start planting these little gardens and making things about community, like oh, diet,
Yeah.
like, and then there's talks of food shortages, and I'm more of an abundant nature. I don't believe that there is um I believe that a lot of that is mental. I'll put it that way.
Right.
I'm not going to say it
Hmm.
doesn't exist. A lot of people are hungry.
That's true.
A lot of people are hungry, and it's just really difficult to fathom that. Like,
In one of the richest, in one of the richest countries.
it's just really like, wow, people are going
Hmm.
to bed without food.
Yep.
Man.
And again, I am so grateful for your father, well, your parents, for even allowing me to come to Colorado. I do believe strongly that my time here is drawing near an end.
Mm,
I had such a great time going back home and just being surrounded with so much love. Um, I have to get back, not
Yeah.
necessarily all the way back, but like a day drive away, and that's in the works. But I'm so grateful for your parents, and man, just seeing this stuff, right? And going back to the restaurant that I won't name. However, they did make it in one of the food documentaries. I can't remember if it was What in the Health or anything like that, but they made it into that documentary
What is
because
this place?
because they were spraying chemicals into the fields that they knew caused cancer.
Mm,
So if you lived, I think it was only a mile away from that, from one of their fields, or their farm, you could sign up because they did lose their lawsuit.
mm,
And it's like they sprayed this stuff that they know cause cancer. They spray the product down, they manufacture it, they put it in the stores, and then they put it on the shelves.
girl.
And I mean, I'm still included. I praise God that you're not, but we go eat it. And oh man, like, listen, this trip back home, and I'll definitely get off of it, but the wisdom that I gained,
Mm-hmm.
um, man, just the gift of. So when I was in Charlotte at my sister's house, I think it was the last day. Like we stayed so busy, we didn't even do much resting. So I went out on her back porch, and it just had this zen about it. It was so peaceful. The trees were beautiful. The leaves were falling. I had a good laugh because my sister whipped out that leaf blower, and she's blowing the leaves off, and they're still falling, and I'm cracking up. Like, it doesn't take much to make me laugh, but I looked in the yard. I was like, why do y'all even sit in the house? Why? Like, if I had a back porch and
Mm,
I had all these trees, best believe I would have a hammock. Ain't no staying inside. Man, even her front porch. Like, I would go out every morning and just sit there. She was like, why you sitting outside? Man, this is peaceful. I don't get this. That's a huge drawback when you live in the city.
mm,
It's noises all the time. All the time. Man, when I went to my best friend's house, we stayed on the go. There's nothing there. Like, we stayed on the go. Um, but man, when I got to the country, oh my gosh. My every
mm.
morning I would wake up, and I'm an early riser, so I would wake up, everybody would still be asleep. I would shower up and everything, and I would go sit on my brother's porch, right? And I found out after I come back, my sister in law was like, "Yeah." I would wake up and ask your brother if you were awake, and he'd be like, "Yeah, she up out there sitting on that out there sitting on that porch." But they don't understand. Like, they get to do that every single day.
Mm.
I got to get up. My allergies didn't appreciate it, but I got to go outside, and it was fresh air. And those birds, man, they were having a ball, and they were just fussing each other out. And then, every now and then you would hear a dog bark, and I was like, they don't even know how good they have it. They have no clue how good they have it.
So, what makes that different from where you are there in Colorado? I mean, I feel like because Denver, Colorado is my home, right?
Hmm.
So, when I hear you talk about that, I have had those experiences there where, the air is fresh and clear and, you know, There's places of just stillness and quiet and nature and being outside. Like, what better place to be? So what is it? What's different?
So when you say that there's places, were you able to just walk out and get that, or did you have to find the place?
I was absolutely able to walk out and get that. Absolutely. Not everywhere I've lived, but
Hmm.
absolutely.
So when I think of the first house that I moved into when I moved out here, right?
Mhm.
We could go in the backyard. We had to look at a fence,
Okay.
right?
Mhm.
The front yard, it was traffic, right? So you still could get it. It wasn't peaceful, not to me. To me, it wasn't peaceful. You know, coming from the country, it wasn't peaceful at all. It was always noise. And then when you think about what was it, the number 10 or the number 2 fire truck, that joker was always blaring.
Where was that fire truck? That was like up the street.
Yeah.
So you're talking about like where you lay your head
Yeah.
on a daily basis.
Well, if I was there, yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is like,
Well, you
so
would
even
be
here, right?
laying your head.
Huh?
I said you would be there if you were laying your head there.
No, like you said on a daily basis, like, yeah, like I only had it for a short time. So when I consider,
What?
so you're saying like where I lay my head on a daily basis, like I was only there for 3 days.
Yes, no, I know. I'm saying what you are speaking about the experience
Hmm.
of having that quiet, fresh air. You're talking about every single day where you
Yes.
live, where you reside.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, like right now I live in an apartment, right? I can step outside. Is the air fresh? Not always.
Mhm.
Um, but let's say if I were to go sit on my balcony right now, not only do I have like the view of me looking at someone else's balcony, so if they're out there, like I'm looking them in their face. It was just different, and I'll never forget. My siblings said the same thing. So when I was riding with my when I was riding with my sister, she was like, "Let me hurry up and get you something to eat. I know you're hungry. You done got quiet." I was like, "What?" I was like, "I don't even get to see this many trees in a row. I'm taking this in.
Mhm.
I'm not that hungry to where I'm just gonna stop talking." So I'm riding with my brother. He was like, "Man, let me hurry up and get you something to eat because you done got quiet on me." I'm like, "What the hell, man? I'm enjoying these 2-lane roads. I am enjoying watching all these houses have all this space in between them. I am enjoying watching all these fields with this produce growing up. Like I can't even do that with y'all without y'all thinking I'm hungry. Like ain't that some shit?" All I want to do is enjoy this because I'm getting ready to go back to Denver where I just don't get to see that many trees in a row. Like I don't know what to tell you. It's just not not working. But oh man,
Mm.
I this is the first time in a long time that I could truly say I wasn't ready to come back.
Wow.
Yeah, I was not ready to come back. Usually 2 or 3 days in that joke, and I'm like, man, if y'all don't get me away from here, not this time.
You know what's so crazy how parallel our experiences are, but like on opposite ends of the
Yeah.
spectrum?
Yep.
So we swapped, like we both went
Mm-hmm.
home. So we saw each other for like a day, and that was it.
Yep.
And I felt like, while I don't feel like going back to move back there permanently
Right.
at the moment, there were things that I did just appreciate about being back home. Like
Yeah.
literally walking. See, Well, where my grandma is, you can walk straight out into like a state park.
Mm-hmm.
And so being out there, I got all of that. Just quiet, connecting with nature,
Yep.
watching birds, and just, letting the wind blow,
Mm-hmm.
riding horses. We
Yep.
did all of that. It
Yeah.
was just like, and it's right there. And I didn't have to travel
Mm-hmm.
45 minutes to an hour to get there.
Yeah. I mean, even when I go to visit you, like I'll never forget the time I tried to sit on your stoop and man, FedEx driver was throwing
What?
was it was one of those big mail carriers. Remember I came in and we just started looking out the window because the dude was just slamming the boxes and stuff. I was like, man, I ain't sitting out here. I don't know what's about to happen. Um, when I go visit my niece in Pennsylvania, it's like, although it doesn't have the nature feel that I've grown to appreciate, it has. I mean, talk about a city of brotherly love. Even though I wasn't in Philly, but they actually have neighbors, right? Like people sit on the porch, they watch all the kids. It's just
Oh, that's cool.
yeah. So, oh man, all of that to say, a few takeaways from going back home is I gotta get my finances right for starters, because I will be either winning an auction or just buying land straight up. We will be, as a matter of fact.
Especially once you get this payout from the unsaid restaurant, you just come back
Yeah.
in there and just drop it on the auction table.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Man, I can't wait to get that oatmeal money.
Y'all,
Yeah.
okay. I want to share this. I want to share this. So, Shauna, like, how long ago was that? Had to
Man,
have been
King was
10 years? Was King was here?
yeah, you had just had him.
Okay, so it was like 6 years ago.
Yep.
Quaker was doing this oatmeal challenge where you create an oatmeal flavor and the winner gets $200,000. So, right, because me having a child, I felt like I had mastered all the supreme oatmeals.
Yeah.
And I was like, I mailed them in and we was like, yeah, we gonna get this oatmeal money. We about to get this. We about to get this. It was what, $200,000?
Yeah. Heck yeah, man.
So,
Yeah, on a serious note, and I'm going to get very personal quickly. So, I think I may have even mentioned in a previous episode how I was a victim of identity theft. And I've been very, very stubborn because I'm thinking, why the hell is the DA like, why did they let that lady out on bond? Other than, she had a right to be, but the DA won't give me the license that she had created with my info. The DA won't give me the police report. I mean, like, this DA ain't giving them nothing. And I'm like, yo, there's blemishes on my credit report from this. They don't even care. Like, I got so desperate one time. I was like, well, can you just write a letter saying that you have it and you're not releasing it? Like, help me out here.
right, something shit.
Yeah. Um, so when I seen how my cousin did that boss move, I was like, I know too much financially.
Mm-hmm.
I know way too much to not be in that position. So man, I came out here, I started crunching numbers, I started negotiating like um so my credit scores, I have like a actually not like, I have a 686, a 679 and a 640, right? My profile is jacked. So even though I have those scores which are low to me, I really couldn't get nothing if I wanted. Well, I couldn't get much if I wanted to because when they look at my credit profile, they see that I have like a collections. They see that I have charge offs. So that makes me look unworthy credit wise,
Mm.
right? So I'm
Mhm.
like, you know what? It's been too long. Let me go ahead and work something out with these people because once I clean that up, it's over. And I'm gonna go back to that John Deere and I'm gonna buy a tractor. Even if I drive it for 60 days or whatever the whatever the warranty is for you to try it and take it back, like, um, but that was an embarrassing moment for me, a
Yeah.
personal one, but it's like, man, I can't do anything. And it took me back to that moment when I started studying credit and finances when my credit was so bad, they wouldn't even take my cash. And I'm like, damn, now my credit's so bad, all they will take is my cash. So I was like,
Mm.
okay, let me get started on that immediately. Um, I even came back and I asked my boss for a raise. I don't have nothing to lose at this point.
Fuck it.
Yeah, I just need you to hold me over till I get this till I get this
Gotcha.
oatmeal money. Yeah. Oh man, so that trip, oh, it really made me realize how rich we are. Not with money.
Mhm.
I enjoyed my family so much that I barely touched my cell phone.
Mm.
Barely. Like I don't even have a lot of pictures from different days. So if I were to send you pictures right now, like everybody have on the same thing because I took like an hour out of the
Mhm.
time that we were together and I took pictures. That was like the only time I had my cell phone in my hand.
Mhm.
Oh man, I got there and I got loved up on and I gave out love and oh, kids are a great testament to one's character is what I believe as I work with kids. My cousins that I haven't seen since they were little. I mean, little, little. When they saw me, they just ran and jumped in my arms and Aunt Shana this and Aunt Shana that. And you can't put a price on that
Mhm. Sure can't.
at all. Now, after a few minutes, I was like, shit, now y'all gonna have to. No, but on a serious note, it's like, what more have I missed out on? Like, yeah, I haven't seen them grow up. And man, all of my nieces were in Charlotte when I got there.
Wow.
So I had all my nieces, I had my great nieces and my great nephew.
Oh my gosh.
I couldn't have asked for anything better if I wanted to.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, and then very last minute, my brother threw a cookout and any of the family that wanted to come, he was like, "Hey, stop by." When I tell you he threw, I mean, he didn't really spare no cost.
Mhm.
Not at all. Like when I saw how much food or how much meat we had to cook, I was like, "Yo, how many people coming in this thing? Like, hold on now." I'm gonna max out on my people time if it's gonna
Right.
be this long. Everything was gone. Nobody complained about it. My grandparents came by, and I was just like,
Oh
man,
wow.
I was prepared to take them plates because my grandmother had dialysis that day, and man, it was nothing but love. We sat there and we lied our hearts out. We lied to each other about each other like it didn't matter. We it didn't matter. We were together. There was no arguing. Like, damn, that
Wow.
felt, man, that was absolutely phenomenal.
Those moments must be cherished because they feel so far and few between.
Hmm.
And so
And
they
of course,
must be cherished and
listen,
remembered.
I knew someone was gonna say it. They was like, "Hey, let's not just do this when Shauna come home or when we bury somebody." And I'm like, "Yeah, it doesn't have to be a special occasion.
Right.
Like we can do it at different people's houses." So then in my mind, I'm like, I'm getting ready to clear that land.
Mm.
I'm already prepared to foot the cost myself because it's my vision. I'm not gonna ask anybody for nothing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
once you see that we have land and no one can really now, we got some neighbors that if we play the music too loud, they're gonna call the police. We don't care. Like even if we have to clear that land and let it be a parking lot for everybody to come and oh man, listen, I'm telling you, man, it's about to go down. It
It's
is about
going
to go.
down.
Yeah.
It's happening. It's in motion.
Yeah, like I tapped in a
Done.
time lapse. Did I tell you that? I did a
You
few
did what?
time lapse while I was out there.
Mm-mm.
I think I'm going to play with it because if I would have known about time lapse then what I knew now, I would have just set my phone up somewhere because mind you, I wasn't touching my phone and just recorded the entire cookout to
Mm.
go back and watch later. Oh man, and kids are reckless. One of the kids, so my my brother, who is my blood cousin, but you can't tell us any different. He was on the grill as always. He's either DJing or on the grill, and he's good at both. And so when them kids ate, because of course, the kids eat first, then the women, then the men. Don't know who made the rule, but I'm so glad they did because them dudes can eat, right? So one of them kids was running behind, and they was like, "Man, that old man can cook." And my brother was like, "Man, what they say?" I was like, "Yeah, you heard it, but it was a compliment to him." So, oh man,
Mhm.
like I gotta get back. I gotta get
Yeah,
back.
that was
Listen,
the first cookout of many. So,
our next move, Jenny Marie, is gonna be one for the books. I can't see anyone else that I would want to do what I have in mind with. It's not gonna happen. Like I have a lot of different visions, and some people fit in those visions differently.
mhm.
But our next move, one for the books.
Yes, I'll
One
share
for the
that
books.
one. I receive and believe and
Yeah.
accept.
Yeah. So, oh man, just picture me rolling.
Picture me rolling.
Yeah, this is going to be so sometime this week. Um, the guy is supposed to come out and give me a quote and, like, yeah, just clean it off for me. And then I'm going to
Yeah.
ask someone to send me a picture so I can focus on it. And then I'm going to save money. Okay, let's knock this house down. Like I understand y'all might not want to do it, but can we talk about it? It's not serving a purpose at this point. Like it's just not. Um
Does
oh
anyone
man.
garden or
My grandparents, but they're not in Pinhook.
mm,
But see, that's what I'm saying. Until you can actually see what you have, you're not gonna think about it.
yeah.
So I'm really excited. Oh, and
You should
also
be.
we
I'm excited for you.
thank you. We had a graduation recently.
Yes,
Oh
sister,
man.
sister, cousin, graduations, people taking that next step.
Yeah, we have a
Um,
cousin, Key, aka Slim. She graduates this Friday. She
Congratulations.
yeah, she's gonna be an esthetician. As work with skin and yeah, she's gonna
Yes.
be an esthetician. Again, man. And then she told me her plan. She actually came with a plan. She was like, once I'm done, I'm going back. I'm gonna get a business degree, and then I'm gonna do my own thing.
Mhm.
I was like, okay, that's what I like to hear. Because by the time you finish getting your business degree, my pockets are gonna be loaded. You ain't gonna need no bank.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, oh
And
man,
come
it's
back,
just
and you know the thing. So, cousin, sister, congratulations to y'all both. Um, psychology, psychology slash sisters early childhood education. But I think psychology is the next step.
Man,
and
I kind
just
of want to shout the sister out since she's joined us, right?
I know, right? Yeah, I'm like
Yeah.
Sister Jade. Yes, Jade Henderson. Congratulations, Jade.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Yeah, she's moving on. I think she said she started her first
Masters.
class
Mm-hmm.
for her master's, what, yesterday?
Yep.
So just kept on, is keeping on going. So it's like, yes.
Mm-hmm. Man, I listen. This is like a season of jubilee right now, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
all of these exciting things happen, and it's like, oh man,
It's
oh man.
exciting. Yeah. Yeah. So and just congratulations in general to all of the graduates and
Yep.
those who've been putting in work. Congratulations to those who have supported those who've been putting in work. If
Absolutely.
I was telling Jade's children, I was like, and her husband is like, y'all graduated too.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Make no mistakes about that, man.
It
Hey,
takes a village.
and I would like to congratulate myself because I'm getting
Yeah,
ready to get
okay.
a new job somewhere.
Okay.
Man, what card do you have for us today?
Oh, let me see. Okay, I have two I'm gonna let you choose. There's one is the mystical shaman oracle, and then I have the Akashic oracle. What are you seeking? Gain insight and access your wisdom. Okay, never mind.
I kind of want to do the second one because I had another dream and I didn't write it down.
Oh wow.
I dreamt that one of my cousins and myself was at my great aunt's house, and we were both moving these plants off the picnic table into direct sunlight because they had just sprouted.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And this was after I had gotten back. I was like, "Yep, affirmation,
What?
affirmation." Yeah,
So you gotta so it's almost like now that you see uh the end result and what could be, the steps you need to take
yeah,
to bring it to fruition.
mm-hmm, yeah.
Okay.
And I love it. I love every bit of it. Every bit of it.
Did I tell you that when I went back home, I didn't tell you, but yeah, I don't know, maybe I did, maybe I
Now
did.
you did or you didn't. Ain't that
Girl,
hard?
I'm sitting here going through my head like, yeah, I told you no, I didn't. But we went and drove to visit all of the houses
Yes, I knew about that.
that my grandmother, her childhood home, my mother's childhood home, and it was just like it was amazing. There were four generations in that car.
Mm-hmm.
It was King, me, my mom, and my grandmother. And they
Nice.
are literally going from house to house to say, "Oh yeah, this is where where my grandmother was a small child. I saw that house. She showed me
Wow,
that house, the house that she grew up in."
man.
And it was just like, I just want to take a moment just to remember, my ancestors, great grandma Thelma, great grandpa Clarence, my grandma Dorothy, Auntie Dee Dee. I had a thought earlier today just about how, like, I'm so grateful for the memories.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful to be able to have remembered each and every one of them, how they
Mm-hmm.
smell, even,
Yep.
and it's really important to just don't lose touch with nature. Go outside, get outside. I don't
Mm-hmm.
even
I'm
know
telling
where
you.
that came from,
Listen,
but just get outside and feel something.
man. Listen. It did. It moved me so greatly, I started to hug a tree.
Girl,
And
it'll
there's
change your
healing
life.
in hugging trees.
It'll change your life. Y'all hug a tree. I dare you. Get out there and hug a tree by this weekend. Let us know how it goes.
Yeah,
Hit us
started
up.
to hug a tree.
At When We Think of Us, DM us, email us, hug a tree and tell me how you feel. I promise you, you'll be like,
Hmm.
yo,
So,
okay.
random thought as you shuffle, right? Did you know? Did you know that, like I dislike cats, but did you know that whenever they come around you and they purr, they're pulling out some of your negative energy?
What? Who
Like
said?
I need to go back to the research on that, but yeah, it was crazy. Look, y'all do a fact check, but I'm pretty sure like no, the thought stuck with me, but I'm pretty sure like whenever cats come around, if they start purring, like they're pulling some of your negative energy from
What?
you. Yeah.
Girl, okay. This is totally all has nothing to do with cats. I'm sitting here trying to figure out how I even came to this thought.
Hmm.
Oh, I remember. Tigers. I'll get to that in a second.
That's a
So
cat.
He had to do this creative writing assignment. He
Hmm.
was like, I don't want to write it. I'm like, come on, this is your chance. We spent time outside. I was like, draw some inspiration. Tell me, I was like, you getting any ideas about your creative story? He's like, almost, I'm almost there. And I was like, all right, well, we got to get in here and, get to writing. And girl, we get up in there and I was like, all right, so what you got? So he comes up with the two characters. They're identical twins. All right.
Hmm.
They've been orphans for the last 11
What?
months.
Where the hell did y'all go?
They've been orphans for the last 11 months. I was like, okay, I'm trying to, what am I gonna do? So then he says, yeah, his parents, their boat drifted all the way into the middle of the ocean. Okay. So, all right. Parents are gone. They've been orphans. I'm
Yeah.
sitting here trying to figure out how to, ask him questions that kind of
Right.
like keep the story, structured, I guess.
Yeah.
So I was just like, all right, so what are they going to do? Like, what happens? So then he wants to go into detail, like extensive detail about how these parents are gone. I was like, okay, can we just not do that? Let's just not do that. And let's just talk about what are these two boys going to do if they don't have no parents?
Right.
Basically, they have superpowers. They can walk through things
Whew,
and
okay.
they can talk to animals.
Hmm.
So I'm just like, all right, well, what are they gonna do about their food situation? Like, who can they talk to? They got to get some food.
Hmm.
So he's like, all right, let's just have him talk to a tiger. And I was like, okay. So they talk to the tiger. They ask the tiger where to get some food. The tiger tells him about this sweet shop called, oh girl, what was it called? Sugar Shocks. That's what it was called.
Oh
He tells
man.
them, "Yeah, go on down to Sugar Shocks." I was like, "Well, what's Sugar Shocks?" He's like, "Yeah, it's this place where you can, get candy and sweets and stuff." And I was like, "All right." So they go to Sugar Shocks. They eat till they get full. And he ends the story with, all in all. Oh no, wait, at long last, the boys are happy.
Wow.
What? So they may have lost their parents
But
and
they
they may
had
have
that
been
sugar.
orphans for the last 11 months, but they got them some sugar shocks,
Oh man.
you know?
Has he seen Life of Pi by chance?
No, which is
Huh.
a great movie, by the way. Fantastic movie.
Hmm.
All right.
They
I
had
think I've
sugar
been
shocks.
sugar shocks. Don't sleep on sugar shocks, y'all. Get all the sweets. It'll take away even the worst,
Right.
just the
Right.
worst. And I told, and it's so funny because I was like, so basically, why, it does, what does it matter if you lose your parents and, it all fades away as long as you have candy? And he's like, yeah, yeah, like, you feel me?
Man, now I don't recall him. I don't think I've ever seen him eat candy. Like he doesn't get to get
He
that much candy,
doesn't. That's
right?
why it's so funny. He just fantasizes about. I don't give him candy, y'all. I don't. I every once in a while, okay, here's what I do allow. I do allow for the barber to give him like one of those little drumsticks, and he takes two of them.
A dum dum, maybe.
Dum dum. What I say, drumstick? I mean, dum dum. You know what the fuck I was talking about. Woo. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I've been shuffling for a minute, so I think
Actually,
it's
about two and a
time.
half, but no one's
Akashic.
counting.
What are we seeking in this season? Taurus. We're in the season of Taurus, by the way, which happens to be food. Um, your pleasures, material pleasures, the things that you value, your
Mm.
money. That's all Taurus. That's all Taurus energy. It's so interesting how we talk about um community
Yeah.
and you know where community falls in line with the things that we value. How do we show up for our community? How do we show up for ourselves first so that we can be there for community?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay. I was.
Oh, oh, oh. Geez, I apologize. I just keep dropping stuff. And it says one blood. One blood. Um, all life is interconnected. We are formed from molecules, the building blocks of all life. Therefore, we share a common bond with all that is. Are you experiencing discord in your life? Do you find yourself consistently at odds with someone or something? Center your focus on the disharmony. Take it back to the root. Look beyond the obvious conflict to find the commonality, small though it might be. Water this seed of oneness, tend to it as you would the most delicate plant in your garden. That is so interesting. Because you remember, we were just talking about
Mm-hmm.
how
We both
don't,
went
let's
back
not
home.
just, huh?
We both went back home. We went to our roots.
Going
Um.
back and not, and like looking beyond conflict. Don't just come together and put aside
Yeah.
differences for the sake of, maintaining harmony in times of hardship,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Focus on that and establishing that without anything being wrong.
Right.
And if there is something wrong, agree to disagree. Agree that we all have
Yeah.
our unique calling and gift and offering.
And with that too, I can't say this enough. Acknowledgement has never meant agreement.
Hmm.
So if there's something wrong, acknowledge that, hey, this is wrong, but I stand firm, you stand firm, we're good to go. Um, you know, I really don't want to get started on this again, but I couldn't help but think like when I saw how much back taxes was on that property, right? the first thing that came to mind was, why didn't anyone ask for help?
Mm, you hear about
Why
that a
didn't,
lot.
and you know, man, pride is the devil, sure enough, but I would have been starting up a family GoFundMe first and foremost. Like I just did that today. Like, hey, I just put in some settlement offers for these debts. I did the math. This is what it come up to. If we split it by X amount of ways, this is what I'll need from y'all.
Mm,
I don't care. Now, of course, I probably wouldn't take it outside of that family GoFundMe for now, but it's like, man, for me, right? Like, I need you to survive. And I know that. I don't need you to pay my bills. I don't need you to buy me anything. I just need you to stop me from making foolish decisions.
mm-hmm.
I need you to tell me when I'm out of character, when I'm out of line, things like that to save my life. And I'm like, surely we could have come up with $3,700.
Yeah.
But because of pride or whatever the circumstances are, it cost 18.5.
Mm-hmm.
Man, so that was completely irrelevant to anything, I guess. But I just I just, oh man, that was, I really like that card.
Yeah, that oneness, right?
Hmm.
So even if it was just a matter of not saying anything, you
Right.
create a division. There's division there. And this is
Hmm.
just not the time for it. It's
Yeah.
not. We're not
And
able to go
oneness,
it alone.
man, oneness with yourself too. Oneness with yourself. I know that, and I think I may have shared this with you. Even prior to my vacation, I kept saying like, "Yo, this battle that I'm having about my job, and actually my whole life situation is like my subconscious is winning.
Mhm.
I could not get my conscious and subconscious to agree." And I
Mm,
was like, "Ooh, it's never good when my deepest, darkest thought rear its ugly head because they will win."
mm,
I knew it was going to happen. Yep, I knew it was going to happen.
mm. Well,
Yep. Well, listen. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for listening to me share my vacation. Why are you laughing?
I don't know. I'm actually looking at your face. It's um you're smiling, so I'm laughing. Well, now you're
Jay,
not smiling, but you
you
were.
think you can do this to me? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
No. Oh man. But yeah, so thank y'all very much for joining. Um and take that vacation. It doesn't, you don't have to go home, but take that vacation
Mm.
for sure. Jenny Marie, anything you want to say?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Other
Man.
than, follow us on Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube channel. When we think of us, um, what else? Subscribe to our podcast. We are just about everywhere: SoundCloud, Google Podcast, Spotify,
Yeah.
Apple, all that good stuff. Yeah. Until
Man.
next time, y'all, be
Peace.
blessed, be happy, be good to each other, look out for one another, be abundant, be prosperous, all that good stuff. All
I
right, y'all.
swear.
Peace.